This is a model of the number 5 cervical vertebra and the spinal cord within and the spinal nerves that come off of it. So here's your vertebrae. There's a centrum, there's a spinous process. Notice it's bifurcated, which tells you that it's probably cervical. Also, we have the spinal cord here, and then spinal nerves that come off of it here. And we'll hit some basics, starting with the meninges, which are connective tissue coverings of the brain and spinal cord. And we actually will start with what's called the pia mater, which is a very light, delicate covering of connective tissue right on the outside of the spinal cord itself. And it's going to be wrapped all the way around here. Just outside of that, there is an arachnoid layer, which is right here. Have to get in there and see where the actual point there is. That's the arachnoid layer. So all of this. And you'll notice that between the pia mater and the arachnoid, there is a space referred to as the subarachnoid space. And the subarachnoid space contains what's called cerebrospinal fluid, which has a variety of uses. But in general, it allows the brain and spinal cord to kind of float a little bit inside of the dorsal cavity. And so this is filled up with cerebrospinal fluid. The outer layer, the outermost of the meninges, is the dura mater. The dura mater is here. There's a slight space between the dura mater and the arachnoid called the subdural space, filled with interstitial fluid. It's almost what we call a potential space. There's really not a whole lot there. Outside of the dura mater is this yellowish area filled with fat. This is the epidural space. Helps to cushion the spinal cord a little bit with adipose tissue. Notice there are blood vessels there. And yes, this is the epidural that they talk about when they refer to epidural injections. Outside of that, we have actual periosteum of the bone itself. And so we have the pia mater, which translates to delicate mother, the subarachnoid space and the arachnoid layer, a subdural space there, and then the dura mater outside. Dura mater is a rather thick connective covering, translates roughly to tough mother, because it's a very fibrous covering and fibrous protective layer for the inside nervous tissue. And so this is our spinal cord. And in general, we have what we refer to as gray matter, which doesn't always show up gray in real life. There's gray matter here, and then connection. And then all this other area is white matter. And the main difference between the two is that white matter tends to be myelinated, has a myelin sheath around the cells here, whereas the gray matter does not. The gray matter is mostly consisting of dendrites and cell bodies with perhaps very short axons. And those areas are classically not myelinated where axons are. And so mostly what you're seeing here in these white matter areas are myelinated axons.